Hey, button's been hit. Hey, I think we're live.
Oh no!
Great.
Oh wait, actually.
Rip it and rip
Did,
it!
did that come through? It'll be a good
It
one for us
did!
if we're live.
It
Somehow.
did! Immediately, 500 people show up and start screaming, rip it and rip it! No, I think we're ready. My AC is on right now and it's very cold. But I needed it to be on
It's real
because
hot here.
it's also very hot here, but my desk is directly under the vent. So just the cold air is pouring directly onto me, and it's weird wearing sweatpants and a hoodie when it is 26 degrees out and incredibly humid.
It's only 19 here. But you know.
Oh, that's still hot for y'all, isn't
It
it?
must be horrible for you having AC and being able to make it less warm inside. It's be a real hassle.
Oh, right. No, it's delightful and lovely. It's just weird because I did have to go out earlier to take the trash out. And I like stepped out into the hallway, like where the other apartments are. Didn't even get outside yet, and I was already like, oh god. So I had to go back inside and take off my hoodie to go walk to the dumpster. Um, it
You
was just
burnt. You had a
yeah,
caught fire on
just
the way.
if yes, I would have melted and also
Oh,
been on fire at the same time. Just a sweaty fire mess. What are we doing? Okay.
well, we could check for the bomb thing that's near us.
Yeah. I forgot that
Yeah.
we like figured out where that was.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
because last time we tried to do it, I thought it was telling us to look here.
Yeah, we looked all around the docks.
Yeah.
It's not at the
So
docks. We can confirm.
can confirm we did a very thorough job of looking. We have to go here, and then we can go see if we can go pay our respects to dear sister Mary.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wait, I need to be up there, don't I?
Oh,
Let's see if I can remember how to do anything in this video game.
just hit him with a big stick and it's fine.
It's true, we do have our big stick.
Yeah, we do.
We love the big stick. No, Jonathan, keep it out. I want to keep looking at the big stick. Buddy, you don't understand. I love the big stick. General reminder that the soundtrack is very good. I like the music in this video game. It's neat. I mean, we're trying to go somewhere, but also, what if I looted everything?
Well, yeah, you gotta pick up all the treasure on the way.
Consider. We get all of the bits.
You gotta do the Jamrock shuffle on the way. That's just how it is.
Someone's been thinking about disco a lot.
Constantly. When I snuck over to Sam's today, I'm hoping he might let me play it, but you were playing Resident Evil 4 Remake and hating it.
It's wrong. Incorrect.
There's no bullets in the video game, Kaysh. They forgot to put them in.
It's not right.
They only put in gunpowder and no components, so you just have a million gunpowder and no components.
Please. I'm telling you, I am trudging through the ocean right now to give Sam a piece of my mind. Horrible. Oh, wait, this is where we started the game?
Oh, yeah. I knew I remembered the bridge from somewhere. I can't remember if it was thinking of Bloodborne.
I thought I had just got it confused from the last time that I played on stream, because I remember going on the bridge and there being a a werewolf guy? It was a bit of a problem.
That's definitely Blood Bomb. Thinking of the cleric beast.
See them fancy clothes? This
Oh.
one's a top.
Excuse me.
Ah, called you a top.
Well, he's gonna die.
Also the level 3.
Can we stop shooting me? My goodness. Whoa, where are you going, Jonathan?
Just flying. Have her fly.
Just trying to pick up the stuff. Okay. We're where we need to be. Keep an eye out for the bomb, I guess. Did see a man in here? Thought I saw a man in here.
This is a dead guy.
Hey, dead guy.
Oh. Oh, but
He was so surprised. He just had to have himself a little sit down.
so surprised he dropped his jam and it exploded everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been in that position before.
Yeah, but it's not good.
No.
It's not a good position.
No, it's tragic.
I cannot enter.
Okay, Jonathan, I got it. All right, so bomb not in here. Not where bomb happened. We know now. Hello.
Oh, that's the lad.
I just want to do an E. Jesus!
Yeah, these
You
guys are babies.
You know they're weak when a bite kills them,
That's not even what that's for.
right?
Didn't even use the proper moves yet.
What's up here? Stuff is up here.
It's locked.
Oh. We have to know how to lockpick, right? Like, that's a thing that Jonathan should know how to do. Wasn't
You're
I
a
just...
gentleman, you wouldn't know how to lockpick. That's,
I was in here.
Oh yeah, it's the surprised man again.
Yeah. How did I miss this? It's fine. We got it now.
You're not some kind of miscreant, you wouldn't know how to lockpick.
But I am a vampire now,
You're
so...
a vampire and a gentleman.
Gentleman vampire?
Yeah,
Ooh, fancy.
like Dracula.
I mean, I guess. Does
You drink the blood and smoke the weed.
Does that just look like typical London disrepair or
Man of
bomb?
Kayshurrr.
The
Oh,
place has
Oh,
changed since
really?
the explosion, but it was definitely here. I should find some way to pay my respects.
Oh, that's just the slab.
return the slab. Okay, Jonathan, how do you want to pay your respects, bud?
We have to find flowers.
Oh. I only noticed that just as you were saying it. Remember, don't cough
Those
in public.
flowers. Why would flowers be?
That's a good question. Do I hope that they're on the side of town, because the only other thing that I can think of is
Graveyard.
yeah, or
Yeah.
Mute Lady. And she's like over by the
Oh, yeah.
graveyard. Because she sells flowers, doesn't she? But that's so
Possibly.
far away. Feel like it's far away. Oh, hi!
Could get the flowers and come back later. They'll keep.
Unless they don't? Okay, maybe I have to look in that area, but also there's men here, which means I have to do a murder.
Shit! You'll pay for that!
Oh, I missed. It's
Oh, guys.
fine.
Just got nothing.
Foundry
Just
key? What do you unlock?
This is the foundry, though, right? We're in the foundry.
Yeah. So, where does it go?
Maybe it's just so we can lock up when we leave.
Because we're nice.
Oh.
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. It ain't human.
Sir, that's rude. Excuse me? Excuse me? Horrible. Oh. Didn't mean to look at that, but hey. It's fine.
Yeah.
Look at all this shotgun shells we've been getting. All these bullets. For a man who doesn't use guns, we sure
We own a
do.
gun, it's just not as good as a big stick. Ooh.
Fine.
Oh, it's just big. Oh, like a special toy.
Nah, it's just Bigman. And now he's Deadman. What are they doing up here? Ooh. Did
There
I
was an
just...
ink pen in the safe.
Yeah, is that... Okay. There were other things in there too. I was going to be...
the favorite marker.
It's gonna be very upset if that's all I got. I am trying to look at that. Okay, never mind, I guess. It's fine. I didn't really want to look at it, is the thing. Okay.
You got
Cool.
like one of every item in the video game for forever.
It's gonna be there for a minute. That is nice though, because we were running low on supplies for medicine.
Yeah, we did do a big old fatigue run.
We had to heal everybody. It was important. I have to make my juice boxes taste real good. Is there anything over here? No. Okay. Just go away then.
So fast. Oh.
They zoom. Oh, I passed it. Okay, that's just telling me that's where it is, right? Not necessarily like that's where I find the flowers.
I don't know where we find the flowers.
Ugh. Hey, sir, do you know where I can find some flowers?
It's a leech. Kill it.
Well,
You didn't have a clue you were there until you were 1 inch away.
maybe he's got really bad eyesight.
Yeah. He needs glasses.
Well, he doesn't
Right,
need
then
anything
anymore.
now. Yeah. And that's where we came from. Okay. Ha!
I say do the main quest and I hope to achieve flowers at some point and come back when we're in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We don't like that guy anyway, sucks. And he don't have any blood. He has like
Yeah.
3 drops of blood.
Yeah, you're right. But he could have 4 drops of blood. Is the thing? Here's the thing.
Still be trash.
Yeah. Okay,
Just
how do
the
I...
World's tiniest juice box.
It's a juice box for babies. Oh,
We're back in... No?
yeah. Where we started the game.
Yeah.
But that means I'm back in the jam house. Surprise man.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, this worked out actually. This is the direction I wanted to go. I knew where I was headed the entire time, don't worry about it. Sister Mary. Gotta go attend a funeral.
Oh.
It's a shame that she died so suddenly for no
Some
reason.
kind of tragic accident that no one was responsible for.
So. Oh. Stamina, come back. Please. Thank you. It's very funny to me. It's like he's doing a little dance.
He goes so fast as well. This is
Right?
optimal. As well as being very funny.
Let me stop tracking this quest. Don't want it on my map anymore is the thing.
We tried. We found the slab.
Slab found. No returning though. It's not our problem. Hi.
It's in the slab.
Well. Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh wow.
Please.
Oh
again.
god, that took like 50% to all of them. Not even more than.
We're pretty happy with that. Oh fuck. No! Okay.
Give you a
Well,
big old kiss.
yeah, I didn't like it. No kisses. Hi, Travis.
I tried.
My innards are my outers now. Money. How you doing, friend? How's it going?
Thinking about Kingdom Hearts over there.
Oh no. Hi, flowers.
Flowers is here. We were looking for you a minute ago. We needed to leave you at a slab.
It's very important that we give you to a slab for reasons. I'm sure it's nice at slab.
Yeah.
A slab, not a slap. Never, not even once. I can't dash here because there's people. Horrible.
See you being
It's
wiggly.
locked.
I just want to, Jonathan.
Let's go that way.
Not even if it were funny.
Like
Not
a
even
Three
once.
Stooges kind of situation.
None slapstick here. None. Can I? I think I can get there from here. I just need to follow this big road. Yeah, doing pretty alright. Gotten a lot done this morning, which is very exciting for me. Because I didn't plan on doing anything.
Oh.
I mean, because I didn't go to bed until very late, I was like, I'm gonna not do a thing tomorrow. And then I woke up incredibly early and was like, I guess I'm gonna do all of the things. So I got a lot
To deal
done.
with the bad wizard going.
That was last night's trial. It happened. We finished. It was great. And then I
I've
finished
already
editing.
tried it like that soon, and
I
just dealt with him.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's really gonna bother me if I just don't finish this now, because then I'll think about it for longer, and then I might have to address it for longer. So I'm gonna just do it now while I've got the motivation, and I did it, and yeah, there might be a video going up in a day tomorrow. It's gonna go up tomorrow about that whole adventure. It's just me making bad noises and being mad at a video game.
Yeah, I want to see.
But yeah, I got that done, which was exciting.
I think I have to do dream trip distance on Friday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Not sorry, because I don't have to do anything anymore, but also sorry that you have to do it now. Yeah. Sucks.
What are we thinking about the Travis situation? the Travis proposal?
I mean, I stated my piece. I'll do it if everyone else wants to. Won't be happy about it.
I'd like
give
to do
it
a
my
proper
all.
thing if that's an option, but
A proper not Kingdom
Just-
Hearts thing.
yeah. But just a quick little one to tell Kingdom Hearts to fuck off because we've killed it.
The proposal was doing a
It's
Kingdom
not even a
Hearts.
secret. I just
TTRPG.
was being weird about it for no reason.
Sometimes you gotta be funny about the things.
I'm gonna stream a Kingdom Hearts tabletop RPG, possibly. If enough people have enough, what's the word? Do we just all have, like, collective bad ideas for a day and say yes to it all at once?
I don't know, but it's
Travis
definitely...
Kyrie's dead.
Kyrie will never matter, no matter what you do. I actually addressed that in my video. Yeah.
Kyrie's dead.
That Kyrie is not a thing, and Kyrie will never be a thing. Stop trying to make Kyrie a thing.
Yeah, Kyrie doesn't exist. The end of Kingdom Hearts 3, the bad wizard just explodes Kyrie in like 1 second. It just like points at Kyrie and she explodes. And then
LOL!
at the end of the game, Sora's like, we gotta go find Kyrie, and just like
Kyrie's
runs off. It's like,
fucking dead, Sora.
my guy, you're not gonna find her.
To be fair, he has seen that death does not matter many times.
Yeah, every single person who dies just comes back. Just wait 5 minutes and they just show up.
As stupid as Sora is, I will give him that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Goofy. Remember when Goofy fucking died? There are too many men
got
here.
hit by a big rock. Who could forget? More tragic than the time Adam Driver fell in a hole and then died.
Alright. These bozos. Gotta get out of
Christopher Lee
here.
Ansem doesn't come back.
That's
Obvi-
because
for obvious reasons.
that's because Christopher Lee is fucking dead. also talked about that
Whether
in mine.
Christopher Lee could come back alongside Christopher Lee with an X in his name somewhere. All that shuffled around.
Oh jeez. Sorry, I had to wipe my nose. I'm sniffly.
Oh jeez. It's allergy season.
Yeah. Wasn't there a thing we had to do in the cemetery? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were worried about the little guy.
Yeah. He is here. Excuse me. Also, rip it and rip it.
Grippo, Rippo.
I was telling Fruity earlier, it's a sparkling water. It's not soda, it's a crunchy water.
Just some crunchy water. It's not like full fat Coke or nothing.
Sister. I don't know if I have the strength.
Horrible.
On the cannon, it's just a stick of butter inside.
Oh no! Oh, I hate it. That's me. That's me about the full fat Coke. Scal?
I think he heard me talking about the full fat cock.
Chomp! Not the added fat Coke. I hate this. I hate all of this. Would that be like Coke Original since it's like they got the weird regular sugar in it? Like there's like regular Coke, but then they had like the original formula not too long ago. Obviously sans cocaine, but oh God, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I don't like thinking about chunky drinks. Oh boy.
Just little chunks flying around in it. So you know it's good stuff. The cocaine gets like that if you leave it a while.
I cannot enter.
I was gonna ask if there used to be cocaine in Coke, or if that was just a weird rumor.
I think it was
Is
a thing.
that
No!
real?
Wait, sorry, hold on. Yeah, I think it was. Pretty sure it was. Okay, this is not where I want to be. But now we know it's here.
That's why it's called Coca-Cola, because cocaine a cola.
Isn't there chunky applesauce?
Yeah,
I hate applesauce, personally. But
I've seen chunky applesauce. 100%.
just don't puree it nearly as much, sir.
Yeah, you just get a little apple bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just over here we do chunky applesauce.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen chunky applesauce. I can't say whether it's rare or not because it's not something that I tend to look for.
All we
And,
know
like-
is the backpack is where he keeps his applesauce. We don't know if it's chunky or smooth applesauce.
It's true. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the next time I go to the store, if I remember, I'll look. I don't know. I like the taste of applesauce. The consistency is what gets me. Not
That makes sense.
about it.
Apples are very unoffensive, but I can see the... Yeah.
I'm also very particular about my apples. I need them crisp and crunchy. No horrible mealy apples for me. Do a chomp, do a chomp, do a chomp!
He hit the first one, it went bum! And then he hit the second one, it went bum!
Apple butter is the bomb. Love apple butter.
That's made up. You just made that up.
Nah. Nah, it's so good. I made apple butter mochi one time. And it was very delicious.
Saying what?
I am saying words. These are words that are coming out of my mouth. About tasty, delicious things. I hear a dude behind me.
Fake, tasty, delicious.
Nope. Listen, I'm gonna make these things when we kidnap you, and you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna like it.
I'm gonna butter an apple, and I'm gonna throw it at you. That's just rude. I'm just gonna throw an apple at you, apparently.
Why would you do this to me? Not just
Very
any
rude.
apple, a buttered apple.
Yeah, it's gonna be gunky.
It's gonna be horrible. No, please. Widow in distress, I will come to your aid in just a minute, ma'am. I have bigger problems. The question is the apple homing? Like the briefcase? Because if it's not, then I don't want it. Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
Who are you? What do you want?
Don't worry about it, ma'am.
Somebody help!
I've
Nope.
seen Hitman throw a banana at someone, and that probably homed. You would assume an apple. An apple's just a better shape, better. You know, it's a firmer fruit. It's gotta be better for throwing than a banana.
Well, the banana does have a vaguely boomerang-like shape, right? So it might be more aerodynamic than an apple.
It helps with the curving of the banana when you throw it around the corner.
Flowers and I, same hat. Boomerang banana. Oh man, was just
Banana.
banana.
And we do know from Worms Armageddon that a banana can actually be an incredibly dangerous weapon.
What do you want?
Ma'am, I just want to rescue you. That's all. Stop asking me what I want. Hey.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't.
Oh, I vaguely remember this
You
lady.
know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
She seemed
I'm
cool.
investigating this disease.
I am Kayshurrr. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed.
I don't remember.
I must go to the cemetery
I was gonna
now.
say Io, but
Goodbye.
she seemed nice when you talked to her.
How is she doing? She's fine. Alright. Bye, lady.
Carnage.
Very full of blood.
Is this man's
Incredibly
far too
full of
old
blood.
to be
Nothing
so?
wrong with her.
No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker.
Cool, do you want that thing that's in his ribs? 'Cause I kind of want the thing that's in his ribs.
Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
Okay.
Oh,
Which way?
It's locked.
Where are we fall? Oh, there we go. Okay. I see. I understand.
I don't think we should let the lady just wander off into the graveyard on her own, considering.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Just run back and lock yourself in again.
I mean, to be fair,
As I feared.
we have
Samuel
been...
no longer preaches the good word.
Mm-hmm.
We have been clearing out all the scouts as we've been going. It's probably fine.
Yeah, but she went off the wrong way. Oh, oh Samuel.
Yeah, we found the boy.
Ooh, punched him out of whatever we were doing. I like that.
Just wanna chomp on my juice box.
I didn't like that.
No, he's very
Big
upset
stick
about
is
it.
So good.
I love this stupid weapon. Like, it's very good. Oh! Sorry, I thought I was gonna chomp on a rat and I didn't want to. I wanted to pick the thing up and we picked the thing up. It's great. We've done it. It's fine. Okay, well, we can give that to the man in a bit. We gotta go discreetly attend Sister Mary's funeral.
Stand near the funeral.
View from a distance.
Can't go in the church because we'd
Since I
catch
can't
fire.
reveal myself to my mother
Yeah.
now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
Oh no, they're all T-posing! Oh.
That's what I do at a funeral.
It's the correct move. It's the best way to pay respects, right? Maybe
Yeah.
that's what we need to do at the
When I
the
die, I
bomb
want someone
site.
to do A Christ stare over my
I am
grave.
the resurrection and the life.
Make sure to include that in your will, because then legally somebody has to.
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father,
Big stretch.
the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground.
What a
Earth
horrible
to earth.
accident.
Ashes to ashes,
Yeah.
dust to dust.
Our mother looks like she's about to just fucking collapse. Oh, yep, nope, there she goes. Okay.
Gonna need to dig another hole
Stick
for
her
her in a
in
minute.
this
Jeez.
God awful place.
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Poor mom. What is that man doing?
Oh,
So how you feeling, Jonathan?
what have I done?
God, he looks rough right now.
Yeah, why is
Could
that
I
happen?
change
I think it's because we haven't eaten a people in a while.
one thing?
Oh yeah, that'll make sense.
This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do.
We just
Oh
gotta
my God,
level up
go
enough
accept
to be able to eat the horrible poet.
The poet, the priest, and there's one other guy.
What brings you here?
I
Or
thought
was it a
you could
lady?
use the company.
Can't remember.
I am
There was
so
someone else
sorry
out
for your
there.
loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person.
I was hoping that there was an option
Vibrant,
to tell Lady
full of
Asprey to
life.
fuck off.
She was
Yeah.
kindness incarnate.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am,
Sorry.
what I must do to survive. But my sister,
So dramatic.
she shouldn't have suffered because of my
Always dramatic.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost
Bitch,
so
I don't even
many
know
friends,
you.
We're not
loved
friends.
ones.
Right?
Pray for Mary.
Almost from her own words, she's like told us that we're not
Yeah.
friends. So
I'm not a religious man. You should know that.
This is not about you forgiving yourself.
I just kind of want to be a
This
dick
is
to
for
her.
her.
Honestly, is
Yeah,
is
This
the
is
only
you
thing
telling
here
Mary.
because
I'm
I don't.
pretty sure she's
What should I
evil.
do?
Is the
Yeah.
thing.
St. Mary's Church is
Yeah.
not far from here. Go there and make your peace.
Ma'am,
Find
I-
the solace you need.
My lady
No.
wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Jonathan, we got better things to do than listen to this dumb lady.
Yeah.
Well, Rip Mary. It's nice knowing ya. But I think we have a shortcut over here. not even a shortcut. It just opens up here. Cool. Why did I think there was a fence there?
No idea. Maybe there is at some point. It's kind of a big wiggly area.
Right? Ugh. I am so glad I had iframes for that.
Yeah.
Didn't for that one though. I need to heal.
Oh god, there's another one. Another
Yep.
two.
Yep. Please, I'm stuck.
They're just standing there.
Oh,
Oh god,
it's
there's another
bad
three
here.
and they're all identical.
I gotta go away.
The twins are here.
All 4 of them. Ah! Okay, let me do a chomp, please.
Hey. Big lads too.
Yeah. Fuck. No! Jonathan, please.
Slowly. You remember how to do the heal move? Okay. we
Yep.
do.
I was saving it for just such a situation. Oh shit.
Just wanted to stunt on him, not even do a heal.
Yeah, more or less. I didn't want to waste my blood for that, was mostly what was going on there, but I think at this point, probably...
When there's less of them, you can get the blood back, because it's easier to knock them over when there's only a couple.
Yeah!
Yeah, we're full of it.
I can heal up again.
Actually, the heal takes a really tiny amount. Look at that bar.
Yeah,
It's full again now.
I got a peek at it.
It's Jenny.
Still just
Right.
take care of them. I can't be here anymore. It was bad here. But we did it! Okay, where... Is this just a horrible little nook? No, that's where I came from. So I go through that gate. I understand.
Horrible fight nook.
Bad to fight nook. Do not get stuck in the fight nook. You will regret it.
You have to fight the twins. The octuplets.
And off to church he
Wait.
goes.
Wait,
A
no,
new
I was trying to
divine
rummage through the
to
garbage.
From the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion.
Big boy.
Shed your skin. Forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Big.
Approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them.
Big.
I shall return as your judge and jury.
Judge Judy and Executioner.
Not Judge Judy and Executioner.
Immortals try.
What is
my
going on over
patience
there?
With their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Reverend Kane.
Wizard?
I order you.
Well, he's a dead man now.
Who are you, Reverend Ken? Where did you come from? Oh, he's not good at this.
He's just a guy.
This man stung.
No,
with
he
his-
didn't.
His crucifix. This is not good
Ow.
news.
Jonathan, here's the thing. He didn't actually do that.
Just stood there and just got whomped on.
Listen, he was very bad at his job.
He had a lot of health, but he didn't do anything, and his attacks were so slow you could interrupt them just by pressing the button over and over.
Right? Okay. Drop your stuff. Man doesn't have anything for me to pick up. It's tragic. Horrible. Wasted my time with him. Hey, and we're back.
Just that easy.
Yeah.
Do we have to tell the church guy that his buddy went and got zombied? Oh,
Yes.
turn around. There's flour. Can we take the flour, or is it just for the card for the thing? Oh.
I think it's just the card. I am trying to like figure out where Carmelia is. There was someone in there for a second.
Nice.
Camellia, excuse me. Just throwing a random R into her name. Hi.
Hello again. miss.
Do you have flowers that I can? Ew.
Yeah, it's gross.
I think I like
Very
He
well.
sells
been-
nothing.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Why did it zoom in on her like that? Entered a refusal letter. Dear Mr. Nithercott. Was that the... Oh. Oh. Hey, I hear you got rejected because
Good
you
evening,
suck.
Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
Yeah, you can tell me when I can eat you. Ugh. Ugh.
One more level.
So close.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Get a different job.
Perhaps it's time to think
Maybe
about
it's not for
something
you,
more
but-
useful to do.
That's
I'm
Maybe
not
you're not
that
the
poets
best.
are what London needs at this moment in time.
Men and women
That's-
need food for certain, a roof and safety. But how narrow is the mind of one who believes art is not as essential?
It's not.
Goodbye for
Listen,
now.
it's not that we don't need art.
We don't need better.
We don't need. Yeah, yeah. Also, can I
You
try
don't
that again?
really make a living.
No, sir.
Perhaps it
Men and
Oh nope, we're
Did
cut
you
off
know
entirely.
that Florist is a member of a secret society.
I mean, since we're gonna
No,
eat
I
the man.
But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery
Oh my God.
surrounding the precious camellia.
Might make him taste better.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
leave you alone, sir.
Almost full blood.
Good evening,
Good enough.
Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening.
excuse me?
I'll leave
Excuse
you
me?
alone.
Excuse
It
me?
looked like you turned around and there was another Mr. Nithercott behind you.
Hello again.
It's just Mr. Nithercott's everywhere. I don't want to say this, but I do just want to. Well, I guess I don't have to. She's full up, isn't
She's
she?
full on blood. Yeah.
All right, never mind. I don't have to be gross to you.
Goodbye.
Thank
Yeah.
God. Also, you should not be here. This man is horrible and creepy and weird.
Yeah.
Consider. Go somewhere else. Let's go give the man the news, and then we'll try to go into the church and then find out that we can't because, you know, it's bad in there. It's not because we're a vampire, it's just because organized religion is disgusting.
Energy vampires can go in there.
Good evening, Mr.
Regular vampires set on fire.
Are you still lost in your rational delusions?
I love macros.
I have found
So
Samuel,
good.
your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I
Watch
already
more of
expected the
that.
worst. He should already have
Yeah.
come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes.
yeah, he
He
dead.
is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
It's a shame that we didn't. Oh.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery.
It's not that I
have
well, I mean,
proof
it's
of
not
his
a
crime
great
and
look for
proof
Samuel
of his
either,
death.
but also I
No.
just want to upset this man.
Samuel was the best of us. So
Yeah.
devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he
Yikes!
will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He
Sorry, my
walked
chair's so
boldly into
low.
the mouth of
Oh,
abomination.
no, you're fine. My yikes was at this man.
Samuel
Yeah.
used you. He was
Taking my
a
socks
moral
off. How is this going? And it is.
If that's true,
It was so
he will be
quiet.
my
Don't
burden
even
to
worry
bear
about it.
during this endless night.
Alright, this fucking guy.
Yeah, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
I have had enough for tonight.
I am
Really?
me. How
Good
how
evening,
big a
Mr.
brain do I have to
His
have to do a
father
need
was
on
a
this
goddess.
horrible man?
It's gotta be huge, right? I think it's like
I used
full
to
brain.
5
in
or
your
something?
rational
Full
Yeah.
brain. Fucking 5.
I have
God
had
damn
enough
it.
for tonight.
We'll get there.
Goodbye.
I am going to do an eat on this boy. And it's gonna be disgusting, but it's gonna be so nice. Is there anything back here? Flowers, perhaps?
Trash to go through.
I see flowers. I see flowers right there, and I want them. Can't have them
No,
though.
no flowers. Hey, listen, the
Oh,
world is
hi!
filled with flowers that don't count. It's horrible.
Can't have just any flowers. You need to have specific ones, sir. Well, I meant
That's
to.
not horrible. Snake oil anti-self flowers are just opium.
I think just opium. Said the scowl. Is there anything else back here? No? Okay. Well, we looked. I guess we will... Is that shiny? Shiny.
Oh.
Hey, alcohol and pills! My
Rusty
favorite.
pills.
Delicious! Even better.
Test
Get a-
the rust.
Get a good dose of iron in with your alcohol. Ucky. Alright, Jonathan, what are we doing?
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't decided to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for
Is it a
one
private
departed.
concern or a private
They're
matter?
not for living
Choice.
Your eyes burn with rage.
Limitless.
Yet I see the pain that lies beyond.
No, we just haven't eaten anyone in a
I am
while.
here
Yeah.
to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Hey, so I killed
Open
my
your
sister.
heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened?
A horrible accident that no one caused.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
Nobody can say
I have a
anything
final
about me having
question
done
for you,
it.
my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your
No, I'm not a
question.
vampire.
What would you like her to know?
Just keep doubling down on it. Definitely was not me.
I'm so sorry, Mary.
We're gonna find those
I
responsible.
promise to find who is
Don't worry,
responsible for
Mary.
this.
I'll find out who did it.
I'll put an end to this.
Could have been anyone.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere.
Again, just in case this vicar decides to narc to the cops, nobody can prove anything. I definitely didn't do it. Oh.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Alright. Hey, do you have anything new to say, buddy?
Good evening.
How are you
Doctor.
doing?
Can I help you?
I know nothing about this man.
Goodbye,
Okay.
Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Next up, we gotta go meet Dr. Boyfriend again. Unless...
I'll cheer him up.
Can we find her? Where is she? Nowhere. He doesn't exist.
Maybe she'll be around after the quest.
Yeah. Find somebody who can read Braille. We've done those. We've done all of those. We can't do that just yet because we're blocked from the area. Come up with the grave diggers. Where's that?
But that's the furthest place from the graves.
Right?
Horrible.
Okay, well, we can deal with that when we go back to try and figure out the flower situation.
Yeah.
So, for now, I guess let's go see Dr. Boyfriend?
Let's go see Dr. Boyfriend.
And then maybe we'll have enough mind to do a need on a particular bad poet?
It's possible.
I don't need to do a chomp, but I like asserting my
Okay.
dominance that way.
He's dead. Remember your... Have faith.
Hey, you only got those hits in because your friend shot me.
Okay.
Lord, give us... Filthy piece of shit.
I ran out of
Gun
stamina.
friend way worse than
For real.
Priest Man.
Okay, let me heal up from that, please. Who is making gunky sounds?
That sounds like a werewolf.
Ah, it's a scowl. Scowls.
It's a little guy. Just the scowls.
Just the scowls. We can disregard them for now. We don't need to kill every scowl we come across.
I see how health works. You slowly heal outside of combat, but only to...
Whatever your max is at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restore the max you need to use the moves or the items.
Yeah.
I got it. Pushed him down the stairs, poor lad.
No one heard a thing.
Idiots.
Okay. I don't want to leave that man around for too long. Because I feel like if I don't manage to stun him, he could do some serious damage. Oh shit.
I think they're more of a... Oh, okay. That looks annoying.
Sirs.
Hello, sis.
Stop! Stop! Stop stabbing me in the butt!
Gone hog wild over there. The priests are like, if you can get on them, then nothing, but you do want to get on them.
Yeah.
And all the other guys are real annoying about it.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Priest is the support of the group, but in the really annoying sort of he's just gonna keep stunning you so you can't do anything kind of support.
Well, normally he doesn't do nothing, but he does have that one big stun that drained all of your stamina and made you walk really slowly for a while.
Oopsies. Just trying to rub my forehead and then hit the button.
I remember you.
Hi, Daddy. I like your hat.
I like your antlers.
Those are pretty cool.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Oh.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
I do want to just imagine that he is. If anyone looked on this scene, it would just be Jonathan just screaming at the bridge.
Oh yeah. No one else could see the jam man.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
What about Big Stick? Is Big Stick okay?
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
Okay. Well.
So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity.
Well.
Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind?
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Edgar, what do you know about jam man?
Dr. Boyfriend,
Dr.
I have jam
Boyfriend.
questions.
There's been a jam incident.
God protect.
Oh, he's got his skull
He's
again.
doing the skull thing.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Okay.
Leave him, Jonathan.
I'm right here, my guy.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory.
Dr. Boyfriend, throw a book at the man.
Just had the carpet cleaned.
How did he know?
This is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What is the bottom of my jacket doing?
Oh.
It is kind of going through Jonathan's leg.
That's fine.
Jacket, please.
What happened?
We're in the
The
presence of
hospital has
Dr.
been attacked.
Boyfriend. I have to
We
look
have
my
injured
best.
patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Aww.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was
Oh!
Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I think I
Please,
remember what
can't
happened to
rely on
her.
anyone else. And
I
this concerns
don't.
you as it
I
involves
don't
you.
remember much until we meet
Someone has
Sean.
taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks.
Oh, yeah.
It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity.
Well, they
you realize
more
what
than
that would
suspect.
mean for us?
Man saw us.
Yeah.
Do you really believe they would come for us here?
Here's
in such
the
a public
thing.
venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Okay, hold on a second. Taking my hair down? Ooh. Been up in a ponytail all day, and it's making my head hurt.
Oh, jeez.
Ugh.
Are we on the Sean mission already? Jeez.
I think there's some stuff we have to do before we get to the decision with Sean, but yeah. I think it feels like it's taken a longer time to get here, but I think that's just because we've done so much side questing.
Yeah.
Don't need to read that, I just want to pick it up. Anything else? Is there anything else I can loot in here?
I think we could really have just gone like straight between the
Sean
first
Hampton
big
lives
choice
and breathes
to
for
the
well-being of his
funeral.
flock. There's no
Show
other
a
place
face
he would
there
go
for
but
5
the
minutes
docks.
and then go after Sean.
Yeah. You could skip a lot if you wanted. I don't wanna.
Yeah. Honestly, the just wiggling around talking to people has been my favorite part so far, but
Same! Really enjoy just kind of
Good
like
evening,
hearing
Nurse
what
Brother.
everyone has to say.
yeah. Seeing what weird
Oh.
stuff's going on with them.
Right?
Oh, the murderer! That's the other one we were gonna kill.
Oh yeah!
What can you tell me?
There has
about
been
the
a
recent
recent
events
event in the
the
hospital,
That Mr.
Jonathan, if
Hampton
you remember.
killed me in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No, I was working by the tents when it all happened.
I do like that Nurse
I
Brannigan
only
is like the
entered
new
room when they
duty
asked me to clean
nurse
up the blood.
since Dorothy has left to deal with her own private practice.
Yeah.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
And
Did you
Sean
see
left?
Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but well, maybe it was him.
Okay. No other questions here.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Let me just walk in the blood that you're trying to clean up.
What on earth happened here?
Well, it involved blood.
A lot of it.
Oh wow, you need level 20 mind to hypnotize Lady Ashbury.
Didn't realize that it could go up that high.
I feel like it doesn't go up that
Oh,
high.
Another night of the glorious
Oh, Jonathan.
Hey, what's going on here?
I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Ew.
Yes.
Gross.
And I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
Gross, go away, I don't like you.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
Big.
He was bigger than He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
Don't worry,
What
he's a
is
boss fight later in the game.
Ascalon clan are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
She's mostly mad because it's a boys' club. Which is like a valid reason to be mad about it, but she's only mad because she can't join, and it's like, no, you should be mad because it's just bullshit.
Maybe. There's no way she's not part of some secret vampire society. Look at her. Maybe there's just a rivalry between them.
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
I personally like the idea that it's not necessarily specifically Christian imagery, it's just somebody's belief in a power that that stops someone. So if you threw a cross into an atheist's hand and they tried to use it on a vampire, it just would, it's nothing.
Yeah, they don't believe you enough. So
I vowed a very long time ago.
That's my own personal headcanon with vampires, but
yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Is there sufficient vitality?
It's a lot different.
The sick and
Like
dying
even within
Yes, Jonathan.
Christianity, it's like a lot of different contradictory like sects,
Frankly,
right?
yeah.
Like Dr. Boyfriend is very happy to just have vampires around, whereas that seems not like normal.
Yeah.
He can still
Over the
gather
years,
the
any
crucifix
pleasure
if he
I
wants.
once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Ma'am, you've killed many a people. Don't look at me like that. Listen, I'm just calling it what it is.
I hope to see you again soon.
It's like just crosses don't stop us. It has to be a person holding a cross at us like they mean it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it's the law.
Okay. What else? Oh, can we check on Mortimer?
Is his throat any better?
I mean, probably not. But we did, like, I don't know if we completed his quest, but we did do, like, a big thing the previous time. So I want to see if anything has come of that.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
Kevin,
How are you?
I'm
okay.
Yeah. No, but I can ask him about the
Can
recent
you tell
events.
me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I had shouting coming from the first floor. I was asleep when it started.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool story.
I have to go now, sir.
We're not gonna ask the mother. She's just gonna be like, why isn't anyone
Good
seeing
evening,
to
Mr.
my
Philip. Good
boy?
evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Did something happen in the hospital like a minute ago?
Please.
Did you
Tell me
notice
about the
anything?
recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then a nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Okay,
Goodbye for now, Mr.
so we
Philip.
should go talk
I'll
to
see you
her.
later.
Oh god.
Always knew the words to calm the children,
Still don't know who the best person to do his operation would
Good
be.
evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
No. It really seems like it's the guy we picked last time, and we know how that goes.
What can you tell me about the
Yeah.
recent
It's
commotion in
possible
the
it's
hospital?
too
Everybody's
badass.
It's just
Right.
bad, yeah.
Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Yeah, well, I thought you hated her. Oh.
Milton cheats patients
Hey,
out
you
of
want to
their
talk about
money
this too?
Are you
Well,
his
yeah.
accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Do you consider just leaving?
Why
How
do
much
you
blood
do
have you
it?
got?
Why not? Most
Don't
of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead.
mind
Or
me,
will be
just
soon.
checking.
Don't you see the futility of all this?
Yep, I think you're a bad nurse.
How can you be affected by the misery around you and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was
We
it?
can really
What
do a
difference
lot of
does it
doctor
make?
stuff actually,
We
because
did
we're a
it together,
vampire
and
now.
I'm
Yeah.
guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Okay, so you're just bad. I
No,
get
it's
wanting,
your accomplice.
right? Like, I get not wanting to deal with all this. This is a big situation, but also that kind of comes with the territory of being a nurse. Which isn't to say, like, just get over it and don't feel anything about
Good
it,
evening,
but, like,
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
you gotta find
What
a
can
way
you
to
tell
deal
me
with
about
it,
the recent
or
commotion
leave,
in the hospital?
or choose
Someone
a different
killed Miss
job.
Jones in her room,
Yeah.
and Mr. Hampton's gone missing. Doesn't take a
I can
genius to
see how
piece it
you'd be
together.
like
You don't seem
overwhelmed
shocked
and
by any of this.
just
Why should
walk,
I be?
but I don't.
Whoever did this must be long gone
If
by
you're
now.
gonna stay
Besides,
here,
you got rid of the old bag.
it's real heartless to just
Yeah.
Goodbye, Milton.
to be just robbing people.
Yeah.
There's like 4 doctors and like another 4 nurses, and that's it.
Yeah. Again, like I get feeling like
There's a fucking
overwhelmed.
plague
Right
going
now,
on,
Dr.
and
Reed.
Yeah.
you're lighting the side down.
What
Oh,
can you tell me
fuck.
about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the
Okay,
blame
but-
is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Oh.
What do you think of Dr. Tippett's opinion of your promotion, Waverly?
Oh.
Tippett is a good practitioner. Maybe just a little too attached to his prestigious position at the Pembroke Hospital.
Really? That's exactly his diagnosis of you. A little too eager to get promoted? A little bit too proud?
He has the right to think so. But I deserve this promotion, and I don't consider it anything but well earned.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good
Jesus.
practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Hey.
Like, Aykroyd sucks, but he just,
Thank
you
you
know,
for your time. We'll talk later.
when he's not being an asshole, he is just doing his job properly.
Yeah. I get it. But
We need him here.
Children, Ellen. As for me,
where did Strickland go, actually? Oh, did I just walked past
Good
him.
evening,
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any
Is
help?
Strickland the Am Man?
Can you tell me anything about the recent
The
commotion in the hospital?
arm
I'm sure it was
You're
not
gonna
your
give
fault,
him the
Dr.
arm,
Reed.
man.
My fault? What do you
I
mean?
think
Oh,
so.
It's
Maybe if for no other reason than
heard
to
it
see
was
what
you who brought the
happens.
murderer inside our
'Cause
walls.
we know the other way is bad
couldn't
too.
know,
Yeah.
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work.
Bruh, you've
I must
not been
confess I
subtle
am
about it.
surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
See how condescending he can be? My God, he can be so irritating.
Oh yeah. Ah!
Yeah.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Okay. Hey, buddy, how do we go about
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr.
choosing
Reed.
what's
Any
happening
news about my
here?
operation?
Tell me about the doctors who are...
Strickland and...
What do you mean?
I
Skip
often...
some of this because we've done it. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
Okay, maybe we can't choose just yet.
Maybe. Do we have to talk to Dr. Boyfriend?
Hey, Dr. Boyfriend! I mean, any excuse to go talk to him, right?
In charge. Also, he tends to just be like, hey, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Dr. Boyfriend, I'll come back later.
I mean, he's got a whole hospital to run.
I have a few questions.
I'd be
Get
delighted
it.
to help you if I'm able.
Oh my god. Before we do that, I do need to use the restroom. So, quick break. I should also probably refill my water. Alright, quick break, and then we talk to Dr. Boyfriend about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Gotta schedule a date. I don't want to schedule nothing. I just want to show up and be like, Dr. Boyfriend, we gotta talk about Dr. Boyfriend stuff.
You gotta tell him in advance when you come in so he can get his skull out. Buzz just right.
Okay, you know what? That's acceptable. I can deal with that. I'll give him notice for that. But yeah, quick break. Do a stretch. Get some drink. Get some snack. We'll be right back. Yeah. I am back.
Cashback?
I am back. Hello.
Hello.
I got more water and I used the bathroom. We're good
Nice.
to go. Hey. I think we met a strange creature.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel.
He big
man.
He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets
No.
are overflowing.
He's
No,
too
Dr. Boyfriend.
big. He was really menacing.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
Okay.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable
He was
sense of
standing
menace.
You
there.
need to be careful.
Menacingly.
You've no idea what this creature really is.
It's a big man.
He big. He's part of a brotherhood. Like a fraternity for nerds.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a
Change
very
of the memes.
unpleasant
The operating
experience.
skull.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of somewhat
Just stand there for a few
substantial,
hours,
to say the least.
all posing in different ways with their skulls.
Is this proof
Beautiful.
that I'm cursed in the eyes of the
What a
divine?
good brotherhood.
Wrath of the Almighty. There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter than little old me.
Yeah, but Dr. Boyfriend, I don't like her.
It's possible the crosses get you because you believe they should get you. You're just
Yeah.
the dog.
What exactly happened here? Why?
Another good law.
That's a good lore.
Violently as it happened. Lurking about. Attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
Hampton really killed her. Did he really?
Are you sure it was Hampton who killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
Hopefully. Who informed the
How
guard?
did the guard of Prewin come to hear of this?
McCullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
Great, cool.
Who was that man in your office?
Geoffrey McCullum,
We do know
actual
that
leader
taken
of
out
the
the
Guard of
hospital,
Prewin.
but that was because of
I
the
suspect he's the man
Because of
behind the
Thelma.
rebirth of
Thelma?
this old and dusty society.
Our other vampire friend. Oh, didn't mean to
Thank
back
you.
out. Wait, what? No.
If you don't
Jonathan.
mind,
I'd be
who was that man in
Geoffrey Mc...
They know I'm here now.
Okay.
don't
I understand your need for blood and will not get in your way. But if you could refrain from feeding within these walls, it would go a long way to defending your case.
I mean, I can do that. Done it
What
thus
do they
far.
hope to achieve?
Their ultimate goal is the eradication of all vampires in the country. They see you as a threat to mankind, Jonathan.
Okay.
Thank you, Edgar.
Well, that doesn't really help us with this. That's what I'm seeing. There's a clipping paper over there. I thought it was like something flashing to be like, "Hey, pick me up." Where is Tippets? He might have information, or might be able to determine who does the surgery for man.
Tippets.
There he.
Oh,
I thought he was on the other side.
me too.
Okay.
Any good news to share?
Well,
Can you
first
tell me
off,
anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a tragedy, pure and simple. The hospital is meant to be a safe haven to all. We failed the people who trusted us with their care.
Do you think
I
I
mean,
should not have
Harriet
brought
was
Mr.
kind of
Hampton
horrible.
back here?
It's not your fault.
I can say
You
this because I'm not a
rescued that poor
doctor.
soul. It was the Christian thing to do. But we should have noticed his instability.
And yet.
Nurse
Oh?
Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I
Oh!
trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reed, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hey. I was just making sure that he was healthy.
I like Tippets.
Tippets is pretty alright. Neat guy.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Can't help us in this situation, though. Alright,
Did kill that one guy by accident because he was too tired, but...
yeah, but that can't really be helped in this situation.
Yeah.
If we were fully staffed and not in the middle of a pandemic, be more like, hey, what the fuck? But,
Yeah.
alas, there is a pandemic, and they are short-staffed. I guess we go do Sean? I guess we Sean. Time to Sean up. Before I do that, I want to see if well, I can't, can I? I can't make bigger medicines, can I?
I don't think so. We ain't got a blood sample to analyze.
Yeah. Tragic. Maybe we'll get it now. Because that would be nice. I would like to be able to heal my friend. My sweet...
Yeah, the headache gave it.
Yeah! Ow! Hey, hey, hey now! I need to do a chomp.
Okay, got that.
Ah!
It's fine.
Please stop! I'm in a corner! Please stop!
Trade.
Ah! Hi, are you gonna do the thing? Oh, okay. He said yes, but immediately. Oh.
Oh. Oh, and his coat went crazy when you killed him.
Yeah, it did. Like it when the physics gets all funky.
Yeah, just not when it's on Echo, when we're talking
Yeah.
to Dr. Boyfriend. That's just
Gotta-
embarrassing.
Gotta look my best for Dr. Boyfriend! I know he's not gonna mind, but I mind.
Yeah.
Everyone is big.
Well, he got us this nice coat. We have to show him that we're looking after him.
Right?
We've just teeth! I ain't heard that one before. I like it.
Yeah. No, wait, please. I'm trying to punch the men with my big stick.
Just walking at him menacingly. Like the T-1000.
Just didn't want him to shoot me while I was aggressively walking at him.
I like when you're
Running, I
aggressively
guess.
walking at him.
Only walk.
We're not part of the Teleport team.
We're not. We gotta walk slowly. In your skull.
Season 3, I think you should leave is underway, right?
I believe so.
Oh, but Netflix is gonna be weird and stop people sharing password.
They can't do it. They can try, and
they want to try.
They can say that they want to.
The timing gets me because like Netflix has been getting worse and worse and worse. The service is so much worse than it used to be, and it's just getting worse.
Right?
And that now is when the it's not gonna make more people sign up. It's just gonna make more people not watch things on Netflix. Yeah.
Right? Netflix is silly and stupid. There, I said it.
So bad.
Yeah.
Netflix were always bad here, but they were always like a third of as much on as there is in America. But like, there's just nothing on it now.
Yeah.
And they just cancel all the shows immediately.
Yeah.
It's on to us!
Oh dear. Busy out.
Just gotta go. Hey, y'all wanna follow me over here?
Throwing stink bombs.
Stinky. Who farted? No, they're not interested. Okay, that's fine.
Terrible.
It's fine, because we opened up this and we can... Silly man.
Shooting the wall.
Hey, do you know where Sean Hampton is?
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
What are we thinking of eating her and the man?
I think we were gonna leave the man.
Okay.
Sorry, I breathed in wrong. Because he was like wanting to get out.
Do you know where I could find him?
And this
boot
this-
boy.
I
Yeah.
heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was.
He doesn't want to be a
But
boot
he left
boy
hospital
anymore.
recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
I am asking the useless, ma'am.
How much blood have we got?
Decent amount.
Wildwood.
Ooh, Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina,
Oh no.
is the feeling
Oof,
mutual?
Digby.
You have no idea
Yeah.
how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
No, I just don't want to hear about it from you.
Behind all your cool words and your attitude, I sense romance
That's
and a soft
a
heart.
wild accusation, Jonathan.
Romance. I ain't got time for such rubbish. I use Booth like I use everyone else.
Oh. Okay. That's fine. I don't care enough to
Can I
to
see
care.
what you have to sell?
As long as you have money.
Man, just shush. Just shush. Thing that I... Okay. Yeah, nothing I want here. Okay. Oh, hey!
Mark my word.
Also, who is this? Oh, it's the vampire
Not a
hunter!
drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
I'm a tracker of these creatures.
Ichabod!
Hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog. What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady.
Ichabod.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you
I am
define as
looking
a
at
strange
one.
event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton. Vampire
Throgmorton?
extraordinaire and
Ichabod
warden of
Throgmorton.
East End.
What a name!
Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm
Yes.
not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm
You're
Dr.
correct.
Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science. Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What
Well,
can
we
you
gotta
tell
talk
me
about
this
everything.
neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a
Yeah, I'm
shame
trying to get to
I
his
wasn't
mom?
around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part
Do you
of
think it's
town.
possible
But it's
to
my
like,
duty.
use science
I am
to
convinced
work
Jack
out if
Gillingham was
someone's
killed
gonna
by a
become a
vampire.
Scal?
These evil rodents
Probably?
are spreading like
Yeah.
a plague.
So,
I mean, it would
how
make
exactly
sense.
are you protecting these people?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything.
Should get on there.
I try and encourage people
Yeah,
to
but what
stay
if I did a
indoors.
bunch of other silly
People are
nonsense
careless.
instead?
That's fine. We just talk to Ichabod, that's fine.
Can I help?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Oh,
I
that
think
doesn't
so.
work. We'll hit him with a leaflet
Paste
campaign.
posters about vampires around the doors.
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
And then they'll be done.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also
Didn't we
cannot
read a
enter
thing about the
house without
garlic?
being invited.
Garlic
Have you
doesn't work,
Killed one of these creatures yourself?
Of course I have.
according to the Brotherhood.
What kind of question
Yeah.
is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Someone were mad at everyone just eating garlic all the time and smelling bad.
So you can't just dish out garlic bread to everybody and find a vampire that way. Understood. Okay.
Can vampires eat human food in this?
That's a good question.
Have you heard
Because
of
just
the
any
God of
food
Prior?
is
Of
a
course.
good way to find a
They're
vampire
dedicated
in
hunters.
what we do in the
A little
shadow.
militant,
Yeah.
fact-based, but they do
As long
let
as you got
anyone
them off
join.
ready.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm
I
more
liked
of
it
a
when the vampire
silent
ate
hunter.
food and then vomited
They're
his way
more of
through
a
the
solitary
sky.
militia.
It's great.
So you hunt alone? That sounds...
Dangerous.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Uh-huh, okay. He has nothing
I'm
else to
looking for
say,
Sean
so let's ask
Hampton.
about Sean.
Can you help me,
I
Mr.
don't know
Frog?
what shadow
Sad
is.
saint. He should be at his night asylum at this hour, but I cannot tell you how to find it. Sorry.
Really?
Oh, okay, maybe
Why
he
is
does
that?
now.
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I
Are they
respect
hiding
your
because they're
decision.
vampires?
You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only
Whoa, I've
strengthened
never heard
his
anything
faith.
like that.
Maybe at least
Such
you
a
can tell
thing's
me who
never
can find
happened.
you.
Tell you
What do
what,
you
go and
mean?
chat with Tom Watts.
Priest?
He's a
Would
bartender
never.
and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Tom's a great guy. Hey, have you heard about Tom?
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
I shouldn't joke about it, but
No, but it
a
is just...
priest of all people.
Oh.
Welcome back, Doctor.
No,
That's
it is
something else.
very, very not silly, obviously,
Tom,
but
Well,
I
no,
need to
but-
find Sean
but
Hampton.
Ichabod being surprised by it
I've been
is
told you could help.
I
silly.
heard the sad saint was
It's period
recovering at Pembroke
appropriate, I
Hospital.
suppose,
Did he
but
leave or something?
I suppose.
I will return to
we
his
know
flock.
now this is not
Can
surprising.
you confirm?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick.
Oh, Sean.
Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
Or Or all of the things that everyone has heard about him is just a crock of shit, and he's just a nice guy.
The important
Possible.
thing is
Does
I
everyone have a
find
different story about how he became a priest?
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a
There's only
meal
one way to
and
find
roof.
out, and it's
Where
to
is it?
ask
It's
everyone.
in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Alright. Anything else? Nah.
Goodbye,
Okay.
Mr. Watts.
Thanks, Tom. You're a real upstanding kind of guy. Also, how do we... There's still a lot of people that we haven't met here. Okay. Ooh.
I don't think Ichabod was here before. The others might be at the... With Sean?
Mm-hmm.
At the night asylum?
Quite possibly. Ooh. Also... Oh wait, yeah, most of these we can't do just yet. That's fine. What did he want? Where is your pile?
130 meters away, Ichabod.
Yeah, bud. What? Oh? Why'd you put him so far away? Ichabod.
Oh, they're in the asylum. But he won't tell you whether you... But he told you to... Hmm.
Whoa!
Ichabod might be confused.
Ah!
Oh.
Oh, he's a big boy!
That's fine. Don't have to kill everyone.
Okay, are there gunners in here? Hey, y'all want to take care of this boy?
Oh,
Never mind!
Yeah, he needed to turn around. There's a guy with a name, it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, me neither.
And I can't use my senses to figure out where he is at the moment.
So busy.
So, yeah. A little distracted. Okay, you know what? I think I can take this guy.
Yeah, I reckon you can. Even if his number is high. He doesn't have a big stick and we do. Sustained damage, like, alarmingly fast to say level 22 and you're level 13.
Right?
It might have just been that the controls didn't work last time, because...
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we didn't find the big stick last time either, but...
Good stick. There we go. Alright. Wasn't even worried.
The combat seems very reasonable this time.
Yeah, it's much more manageable, and I do think it is just, like, strictly controller related, which is very silly, but, you know, it is what it is. Sir, give me your blood. I need that. I need that blood. I need my stamina to come back. Idiot.
Put an end to you!
The only problem with the stick is it does so much damage now, it sometimes kills people before it can stun them.
Yeah. It's fun. Where
Kills them
is...
too efficiently.
It's on the other side of that gate that we can't get past.
Do we go the other way and go to Sean House?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
we'll
go find Sean. Oh.
Sean!
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 Just the name Sean, just forever.
Just ruined.
Ruined.
Aha!
Seems like the guard of Prewin is on Sean Hampton's trail too.
Can you stop doing that? Can you stop doing that? Hey! Hey!
That's a problem.
Fuck off!
I think it's the guy in the back, like, hitting you with one bullet and then you...
Fuck! I couldn't do anything.
Horrible.
Okay.
Very rude.
I
The guy in
vaguely-
the back gets stunning you, and then the flamethrower
Yeah.
guy was chewing you up.
The issue is, if I take out the little guys, more little guys are gonna show up. I vaguely remember this fight, and
Oh,
like, I gotta focus on the big men.
Makes
But
sense.
it's hard to do, cause no.
But we killed dog.
Don't pay attention to me. I'm not the thing that you should be paying attention to here.
I think we could bring dog to fight the boss.
No, because I think didn't we have to like go up to get to boss? We had to go up there.
Did we? Oh, okay. I thought we
so.
just been running along the floor.
Dog.
We went the other way, right? We went towards the Y instead of towards the head.
Oh. Yeah.
Come on, Doc.
This way. Come on, puppy. Oh god.
Fit, no.
Dog? This way? This way, dog?
Come on, Doc. We've seen you go out here before. Oh, he's real close. Come on. Come on, get him.
Dog!
I don't hear him anymore.
The door fucking closed!
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Dog!
Kill me. Kill
Walking
me.
away out the window.
Kill me.
Are we trying again to get dog
Yes! I need dog in here. Get me dog in here. Give me dog on the phone. I need dog.
If we stand in the doorway, then bait him into charging and
Yeah.
teleport at, like the last second.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Jonathan, please. I need you. Okay, never mind. Ah! Stop shooting me! Why am I the one that they want to shoot?
So you have bigger problems. Don't shoot me.
No!
He's grabbed you. How is twice?
That's some bullshit. No!
Nice one-throwing dog. I love dog. I was hoping he was gonna target him through the wall. See him a little bit. Do you want to try again at bringing dog in? No. Okay, we're trying again at bringing dog in.
Yeah.
He got caught on the door for a while there. There might be like a field that just pushes dog away, but also he might have just got stuck on the door.
Yeah. We'll go further away from the door so that he can get around it.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and get him in. But if nothing else, it's like I would rather not do that fight starting out with like no health.
That's fair. I thought we were just very keen to bring dog, but
I mean that
that makes
too.
sense, too. I kind of like he probably wouldn't even be very good. It just seems fun. Just a fun thing to do. I like it when the AIs fight. It might even, you know, just complicate the situation further.
Come over here.
Go get him, dog! Oh my god, dog just did 300 damage to him.
Kill it or you deserve.
Dog's having trouble now.
Crush the leech, boy.
Dog is broken.
Oh.
Oh, no, dog's fine. Honestly, if dog just keeps the little guys busy, that would be fine.
That'd be lovely.
Dog is dying.
He's not on great health. Oh. He was like lurking right under where they jumped down. I don't know where he's gone. Oh, there he is. He's
Dog?
definitely having trouble. His dog. I don't think
Dog's not supposed to be here. Sir, I don't want any of that.
Burn it, boys.
Dog's dead. Stop.
Well, it was fun. We managed to get dug in here.
Okay, do a chomp.
Was that a gun I gave you, or?
I think it was gun parts. But we'll be able to find out.
Because Parabellum's just an ammo. It's bullets. We already have many bullets, and it doesn't say that it's giving us Parabellum when we pick it up. Oh, he's wiggling.
Oh boy, that was all.
The wounds on this
whole
corpse
dang
are
thing.
deep. The result
like
of rabid rage.
But we
If this
just
is
wanted
Sean's
to get.
doing,
We just wanted to
he's
bring
become
dog.
a murderous
Yeah. I am
You
sad
had to get
that.
dug in the dark because he wasn't supposed to go in there.
This was a no dog zone, and yet. And yet.
Sometimes in games it's fun to just try and break the rules, you know? A lot of the time in games it's fun to just try and break the rules.
I do like how the AIs interact in this game, and so bringing dog into that fight was very funny.
Yeah, and they were kinda handy too.
Yeah, it kept the little guys busy for a bit, which was nice. I liked not having to deal with them.
It was fun and useful. I love big ones sick.
Same.
Most powerful of all weapons.
No, Jonathan, we need more stamina. I think that's gonna be like one of the upgrades that we get next time is more stamina.
It's just that the dodge is like really good and really spammable in it.
Yeah. And I'm getting like comfortable enough with the combat that I do like hitting guys like twice instead of just once and then backing off.
It does use a bit of stamina, does the club if it has one weakness.
Yeah. Oh, Stinky. Stop setting me on fire! It's not nice!
Always firing Stinky.
I can't see anything past the fart cloud!
We didn't take damage from the fat cloud. Just the iframes while we were doing it, and then like a grace period afterwards, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were healing. You were great.
Fuck! Please.
They're a little close. I wasn't worried though. Them people with like the pistols that shoot like 3 bullets at once.
They're the
really
worst! Honestly, they're like the most dangerous enemy.
Oh, they do no damage, but they stun you, and then like the enemies
Everyone
that do
else
actual damage hit
piles
you.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Very rude of them.
don't like it.
Those are the support class.
Hello. Might I stun you, sir? Okay, let my stamina come back, please.
Cows make good bad noises.
Yeah. Oh, do an eat. Give me that juice box. Oh,
yeah,
he had
opium.
opium. That was a loaded scowl. Give me your drugs. Can I get up there, please? No. Okay. Well, can I get up there? Great. I mean, I see that boy. I see that man right there. And is that... Yeah, we gotta go that way.
It looks pretty linear.
Hello.
Safer places to be than here.
I chomp!
Man got chomped.
Ow. Ow!
He's a good shot.
Horrible.
Timed it
I
well.
hate it. Not allowed to shoot me.
Oh, he was just a very greasy man. Just full of grease.
Aki.
So give him his power.
Horrible. Bad greaseman. I have to go down? Which I can go down that way, but also what's up here?
Plus, there's a lot of guys down that way.
Hey.
And you don't really need to. I feel like grinding's not on regular enemies. It's not like important in this game because even if you need to level up, they just don't give you enough experience. You wanna think about, you know, cracking up one of your juice boxes at that point.
Listen, you got so many to choose from.
Yeah.
Take your pick. They're all delicious. Also, all of the things. We haven't crafted anything in a while. Might want to look into that eventually. Okay. Down? No. Where are the things?
Around. Ooh, fish. Anti-vampire posters.
Okay, but that's kind of rad as hell.
Love it.
I would like one. See a vampire? Seek for help! Also, yeah, there's lots of stuff here. I don't trust these fish.
No.
I wouldn't eat those fish.
Just hanging out. Oh.
Yeah. Can I? Unlocked!
Nice.
We found it. We found Sean's place. The bad place where everyone ends up fucking exploding if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Good evening, miss.
I'll just have
I'm
to
Dr.
be careful.
Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
Giselle kind of cool.
What you do for a living?
I'm killing
Give it
myself
to him,
scraping
Giselle.
for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
I mean, it has been a rough couple of nights.
Yeah.
TBH.
I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we?
He was definitely
Daddy
born
a
with money in a
banker
nice
or a
house.
doctor himself?
Absolutely, but also it does take a lot to become
Why
a
such
doctor.
haste?
Even then.
Are you judging me?
Yeah,
by
and
my clothes?
we are a
Course
doctor,
I am.
like,
Fuck, you're so blind.
in a
I don't even
crisis.
see your privilege.
Just
Lazy
doing what we
people
can
like you
here.
disgust
Yeah.
me.
But also, I'm not gonna stop her from railing on him.
Yeah,
Have at it,
absolutely.
Giselle.
What? Just spend a few weeks here, and then ask
We've
that
had
question
first
again.
hardship, just not
If you're
all
still
the
alive,
same
I
ones.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If you have something to say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Jonathan's mad as hell.
You want
This is the
information?
maddest he's
Yeah.
been talking to
Well,
anyone.
here's some
For
you.
real.
Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
Do you mean you fight the poor? Jonathan, what have you been doing to combat the issue of poverty?
Are you gonna say
You're
that
right.
just so you don't get dunked on?
My
Okay.
clothes and my manners
No.
do speak for me. And I may not belong here, but that doesn't make me a bad person.
You tell me, Dr. Reed. You tell me.
No, because it was a stupid thing to say.
I
But
thought
also,
she was just gonna
Speak of
destroy
strife.
us, though. if we
Oh,
said it, and it was just like,
100%.
Am I right to assume you're involved in trade?
some of my best friends
You
are the
bet I am.
pause, ma'am. What could you
Well,
possibly?
I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You
Oh,
lost your job
heck.
because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the whole point of trade
Yeah.
unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
The Prewin Guard.
We could unwrap her.
I'm looking for
Call
Sean
me
Hancock.
Robin Hood.
Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness? I'm no snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I like how fancy was not
Well, I'll leave you
capitalized,
for now.
but pants
Goodbye,
was.
Paxton.
Giselle kind of rad.
Yeah.
We will absolutely help her the first chance that we get. That was one of the other things that like really annoyed me about the Sean incident was that like I had all of these quests from all these people and was like gearing up to get ready to do them. I like leveled up so I could address them a little more easily, and then everyone
Yeah.
fucking exploded. And it's
Everyone
like,
died.
Sean, you asshole. You actual monster. What are you doing with that? Ma'am?
Yeah.
Just filling it up and then checking
Filling
it
up
and
and looking
It's
at it.
locked, all right.
then filling it up again. Also, did she just get mad at me for trying to steal stuff?
Probably. I mean, you were.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not denying that. Okay, I was looking for bits. Hey, I found Sean. Oh, he's so full of blood.
Not that, like,
Good
any
evening,
of the
I'm Dr. Jonathan
problems have been
Can I help?
addressed that have been, like, brought up in this fully, but,
fishy at all.
And what about you?
like,
Working outside at night. in this
working
dangerous
conditions
part
in
of town.
just
You want to know
living
my
conditions in
secret?
London at this
I'm
time.
Yeah.
And I'm Lottie Paxton.
Pretty abhorrent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working under is pretty fucking awful too. And women didn't were like technically allowed to do a lot of jobs, but it just wasn't done. Like women didn't work in factories or anything until the war.
Yeah.
And then all the men went off to fight, and
but they had to keep making stuff, so.
Yeah. And when the war's finished.
Well, go back to your kitchens, ladies. The boys are back. Yeah.
Is it not dangerous to work?
A lot of people really mad that women are allowed to go in the factory now.
The Sad Saint now provides me and my sister.
Even though
with
it's
bed and
horrible
roof.
in there.
I don't want to lose that.
Yeah. Only they can be miserable and suffer in
Are
there.
you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum.
They can't
is our
share
new
that with
home
anyone.
now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the Sad Saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the Sad Saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
Only sometimes sad.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
Is that a threat?
You
I
really
just like
think
she seems like a murderer.
should go back to a safe?
But like a cool murderer.
Yeah, not like the bad murderer. we
Not
talked
like
about.
the bad murderer.
Bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Yeah, right they are.
Which local
You
dangers
tell 'em,
must I
Lottie.
avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble,
I like a
you know
challenge,
there's help at
says
Sean
Lottie.
Hampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
Don't know anything. Cool.
I'm
Hey,
looking
I'm looking
for
for
Sean
Sean.
Hampton.
I know he's like
Mr.
across
Hampton
the
must be in his
building,
office
but
at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why'd you want to see him?
He was a patient
Reasons.
of mine at the Pembroke Hospital, but he left abruptly.
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
Goodbye,
Cool.
Miss Paxton.
thanks. Anyone else before I talk to Sean? Does not seem like it. Holy shit, what are all these? Oh, that's Ichabod's stuff. Okay. I was very
Most of it was
confused.
Fine.
Oh, they're all just like
Like-
right over here.
I think they were playing like 4 of them on the same building.
Right? Hey, before we talk to Sean, do you want to just go put up some posters?
Yeah.
And then after we talk to Sean, we'll probably call it here for the day.
Yeah.
It's been going for a little over 2 hours now.
Makes sense. Still
And
having a great time with this game.
Yeah, same. I do really like just wandering around and listening to everyone and finding out all the weird stuff that's going on. Oh, fuck. Hey. That
Whoever
man
moves- Yeah.
went flying.
You just dealt with him.
Oh, shit. Fuck off.
Kind of like their like animations and stuff. It's just kind of cool.
Okay, I need juice. Huh?
Oh.
I
Okay,
guess
no,
I guess
not
we're
last
putting
right.
I guess we are putting up the posters.
Are we playing him up the wrong way around?
I am not entirely sure. It's fine. It's fine.
Or Dr. Nah poster put her up.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
That
one
one's
worked.
fine. A poster put her up
Informing
for.
London's inhabitants
Yeah.
of the presence of vampires. What does that make me? A double or a triple agent?
Don't look back here. No. Please, I just want some blood. I just want to do a little nibble. No, man's gonna do the thing that I hate.
It's fine if they're that far away. It's
My God!
They're a ding. They're a hell of a move.
He said,
Very
I will not
commensurate.
stop until you die. Will you? One more chomp, just for good measure. And we'll just fill back up. Great. Ta-da. They were just staring at a scowl and didn't do anything.
Mr. Throckmorton should be happy.
Where was that pointing? Ichabod, why are you here? I need to talk to that lady. That's a lady I need to talk to. Ma'am, how do I get into your house? Ma'am, let me in. Who are you?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you need any help?
Rest assured, I will help you, sir. Martin Nightingale, at your service. Please, take a look at my wares.
Your merchandise. I don't really see anything worth having. No offense.
None taken, sir. But please, I need to eat. Perhaps if you keep looking, you'd see something that takes your fancy.
Do you just want me to give you some money? I could just give you some money. Are you fine? He's fine. Okay.
Let me be frank. You're as much of a businessman as I
Why
am
do
a
we
lawyer.
hate this man, Jonathan?
Who the hell
Right?
are you to question me? It's hard enough to stay clean when you don't have a place to sleep. I'm doing my best here.
What
I
the
meant no
fuck are you
offense, Mr.
doing,
Nightingale.
Jonathan?
I was merely pointing out the fact that you're unlikely to survive.
That's
long
not...
if you continue
I don't know what I
on
thought
this
it was gonna
path.
say, but it wasn't
Should
that.
I do then, sir? Should I join the wet boot boys like so many others?
Just owning this
thanks.
poor man
I'll be a
relentlessly.
bad sort.
Poor guy. Just showed up and said, hey, fuck
What can
you.
you tell me about the
In
lady?
particular.
Have you got any friends around these parts?
Not really. Miss Gillingham smiles and says kind words.
It's like
but
General
I
Stance
know
is
she's
like
lost her marbles, especially since the
vaguely
sun died.
menacing to everyone he talks to, and that's just normal.
Tell me
But
about
like,
this crazy
there's
woman.
just a few characters, and it's
Madness
always
is
people who are
mistaken
nice
for
or cool,
provocative.
and he's always
Right? He's
so
just an
mad.
absolute dick
Fine and
to
all,
him.
She had so much trouble remembering things.
Unnecessary.
She's taken me for a son more than once.
Oh, maybe we don't tell her her son's dead.
How interesting. I don't suppose you know what happened to her son.
Jack, rumour has it he tried to tackle some gang lads. I didn't know him well, but I heard he was a nice enough chap. His old ma still thinks he's around.
Why not try seeking help instead of peddling your wares?
Sir,
I'm
he's
sure
just
there are
trying to get
people around
by.
here that would gladly help.
There's always the night asylum. I heard it's run by a very nice man, but I'm no beggar. Not yet, at least.
There is no shame in asking for help, my boy. Sometimes it can even be the best course of action.
I don't feel okay with that. I'm gonna make a name for myself, and I'll do it by myself.
Okay, Martin.
I found this watch.
Oh, wait, no!
It belonged to Miss Gillingham, but I thought you might find it useful.
That makes sense. She would have forgotten about the watch by the next day.
If you say so.
Take this for your trouble, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
I'll not
Oops.
forget your gesture. I swear.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
And I just, despite it saying, here's the watch, I just saw the color and the direction. I was like,
Show
I
me
would
what
like
you
to
have
see his
watch,
wares.
Mr.
You know
Nightingale.
what? If we'd have used a bench, we'd have broken that down into components without thinking about it. Oh, he does have like handle pads.
Oh, he does.
I don't know
And I
what
do-
sort of handle pads we need right now.
I mean, all of them. What
Just
is-
all of them always.
hold on. We're also gonna buy this blood sample. Because why does he have that? And we do have, like, a significant amount of money. We'll just buy all of that. Aluminium!
Garbage. All of you things are trash. Let me just buy all of them.
He has some good shit. I don't know what the fuck Jonathan was talking about.
Yeah, he has handle pads, Jonathan. What do you mean?
Jonathan, he's got good stuff. Okay, that can be recycled. We can sell that. Okay, and everything else can...
You're not lost, sir? You seem quite a stranger to these parts.
I mean, yes.
Good evening, young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Why are we doing this now? Why have we adopted this guy?
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Listen, Jonathan's a little confused right now.
Sorry, I don't know where he is.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I know where he is.
It'll strike your fancy. If not, I'll find you something.
Ma'am?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I come in?
I already took my medication, Doctor. But thank you.
I'm sorry. Your medication. Have we met before?
Don't tease me like that, Jack. Sorry, what?
I think I should come in, miss. I'd like to check if everything is okay, what with the epidemic spreading across London.
An epidemic, you say? How terrible. I had no idea. But where are my manners? Please
It
do
is
come
probably
in,
best
Doctor.
that we gave the watch to the
You are the
boy.
doctor, yes?
Yeah.
No. Okay, well, first, I am robbing the old woman, but it's not because she's an old woman, it's because it's what I do with everyone. Hey, we got a thing for a man we've not met. Oh, look, what does she need this sodium hypochlorite for, right? Like, it's better with me. Oh, I did just steal her money, though. It's better with me.
It's locked, all right.
That's fine.
They don't mind, actually. It's their favorite thing.
I'll leave it out for gifts
What brings you
for
back here?
passing
Oh,
vampires.
whispers you had a job at that fancy hospital.
I told
Dr.
you my
Tippett.
name is Jonathan Reed. Don't you remember?
Of course I do. I remember my name too. Gillingham. But you may call me Enid, Doctor. I'm very happy to see you again.
Uh-oh.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Oh no, I don't gossip. That would be most unbecoming of a lady such as myself.
Okay.
What are more influential figures on the
Alright, man. That's fine.
Well, I heard about some terrible illness going around.
Yeah.
I would say in that case that it's you, Dr. Tippett.
Ma'am, I'm not
Is
him.
anyone taking care of you, Miss Gillingham?
My son is always here to take care of me. He's a good boy like that, but I do worry that he needs to start living his own life. Why, I would never say that to him, of course.
Enid, have you really no idea what happened to your son? No idea at all.
I've not seen Jack for so long. I lose track of time. Has something bad happened to him?
Ugh. Oh, she's got a headache.
Oh, we can't do anything about headache.
No. Soon, maybe.
Son might be
He's
unwell.
dead, Miss Gillingham.
Of course he's not. I've seen him. Tonight, in fact. Ever the joker, Dr. Tippett.
Oh, man.
Okay. We should...
I'm looking for
I
Sean
know there's no
Hampton.
option for it, but
Do
we
you
should
know where I
probably
might
take
find
her to the hospital. I'm not sure she can look after herself and she's going to be eaten by skulls.
Right, my assumption at the moment is
Goodbye,
that
Miss Gillingham.
Martin is keeping an eye out for her. That
I
this,
hope so.
that this guy is. But
Good evening, young man.
oof.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Hey, do you have any more information on Enid? No? Okay.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir?
We are dealing with
You
the,
seem quite the stranger to
you know,
these
the
parts.
Spanish flu, but we do have the, like, rooms where you know, we've got the other patients, right? The
Yeah.
nice bit.
Can give her a bed next to Mortimer. They can be best friends. Here, Mortimer, this is what it's like to have a nice mom.
Yeah. We brought you a new mom.
She will call you Jack, but don't worry about that. Just roll with it. Wait, is this the horrible fight nook that we found earlier?
I don't think so. It might be, like, copy-pasted.
Okay.
That one near the graveyard, though.
Yeah. Is the blood going this way or that way? Any blood? Oh, it's going... Wait. I've already looked around here. Okay, never mind. We were confused. But no longer. Ow. Oh. I love it when it doesn't load in properly. We've officially met everyone at the docks!
Nice.
No, we haven't met this man. He's lost? Sir? Ronnie has fled away after having killed a member of the Wet Boot Boys. Hey, I would like to find him so I can shake his hand. Okay, well, let's go say hi to Sean.
Didn't the guy say they'd killed him?
Oh, they might... possibly.
Did the dude hide him instead of? Because he was the guy who wanted to get out of the gang, right?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Pneumonia?
Can we examine the? Can we analyze the thing he gave us?
Oh.
Aww. I was
That's
really
not what
hoping
I
it would
wanted.
headache cures.
Same. I'm gonna do one more of those. Just so that we have 3 of everything except for pneumonia. Don't have any of the pneumonia stuff, but go ahead and recycle.
It's a very good sound.
I do like it. Cool, good, great, perfect, wonderful. Okay, I want to go back in here because this is not Sean's place. I thought it was, and I was incorrect. It is here. Excuse me?
It's the dang lad, the vampire hunter. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll look for him in a bit.
Sure, it's fine.
Folded paper? Oh, he's talking about Dyson. Which I can go talk to Dyson about. Hi, Sean, before I talk to you.
Tiny goods and valuables. Ah. Interesting wardrobe you got there, Sean.
Nothing suspicious here. Sean, your chair is
There's
in
be
my
a
way.
strong breeze coming from this wardrobe. Weird.
Why the long face?
Oh God! I forgot. I forgot that he looked like this.
Oh, he's gone a bit wrong.
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
Do you
Good
think this is a
question.
blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear
He's
the
wearing
cross,
a crucifix.
nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
Oh, it's because he's a
Okay.
skald, not a vampire. And I guess that they differ that way. Although there is still that potential.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord.
I don't know that he meant
I
it so
only need to
literally.
eat flesh, no blood.
Well, that doesn't make it better, though.
No.
Sean, no matter how we look
return
at it,
here.
it's
This
not
is my home.
good.
These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Skal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood.
Thirst.
But have faith. My will is far
Sorry.
stronger than his.
I don't know, Sean.
Yeah.
Why did you kill
My
Miss Jones at the Pembroke
proof
Hospital?
Killed old
about
Harriet.
of it being
You must be
otherwise.
mad, Doctor.
A
Why
save
would I
file
do
that
such a
says
thing?
otherwise.
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke.
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures.
Was she
I have
though?
nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
I have to see for myself. But your sense of purpose and calm gives me some relief.
I'll be
For
here when you
now.
return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I surrender myself to your judgment.
I mean, you better start making peace with your god, cause listen.
Yeah.
Our mind is made up. There's Lottie.
So if you let Sean Levy kills about half of all the NPCs in the game, and the areas just become full of enemies.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
They're like really
Dr.
high
Reed,
level.
Can I be of any assistance?
And it's,
Have you
that's
noticed
just
anything
so much
suspicious
experience
lately?
down the drain.
And also, like, half of the side quests in the game are gone now.
Yeah.
Half of the characters in the game, you don't get to, like, finish the little stories.
I put
Yeah.
up
It's
your
real bad.
public service announcement. Consider the common folk warned about the vampiric presence.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You may not realize it, but you saved a great many lives today.
Do you really think they could be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Okay, come on. Whatever you say, buddy.
Tell me,
You're
why do you
Kubrick
consider
about.
yourself the protector of
Honestly.
Shornhampton shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
Okay.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
By all accounts, Sean was, like, a really cool guy.
Yeah.
But
Prior to becoming a Scowl,
Yeah.
wonderful.
I
Darling human being.
just if you become a Skal, you are going to lose your mind. There is a timer, and when
And
he
the
runs
second
out,
you do,
yeah.
it's a fucking bomb that goes off. You are anything and everything that you loved and built up. It's all just gonna go away.
Yeah, you're basically just a zombie, but you can run faster and sometimes teleport.
Yeah.
A magic zombie, that's all.
Not the magic zombies.
It's gonna happen.
These are kind of deviating away from each other. What is this? I'm finding a man in the sewers? Or
is this
what? Oh, it's Rodney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Found the letter?
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
We are looking for the sewers entrance now, right?
Believe so.
So it'll probably lead to the same area with him in it?
Here's hoping? I think that's outside of the map where he is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we'll...
Well, it's outside the bit we can see.
Yeah. So we'll find the entrance to the sewer. Oh, and then...
I should investigate further.
Call it there. Hold on. Or maybe... we do a murder on some people first.
We can deal with this first.
Ouch. No! Let's do my little hops away.
It's not too bad unless there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
With their stun. And if you can, as long as you're not like right next to them.
Yeah.
Because then they stun you for a really long time. And drain all of your stamina.
I think they drain your blood too, though.
Yeah, I think they might.
It's like, I need that.
I was
Hey, I need
suspicious
that?
of whether or not they were doing that.
I think they are. It's hard to tell while it's all happening. Just because, you know, there's a lot to pay attention to, but also I am just looking around because I think you mentioned that Giselle lost her money around here. And, you know, we might as well look. Where is that? It's directly above us. I see. Listen, if we're here...
We're right to think it was here.
Do a chomp on my sweet fleet juice box.
It's gonna give Giselle the money back, and she's gonna be like, oh, thanks. And then she's still gonna be rude to him, and he's gonna be like, but I have given you your money back. How is this? What is going on here?
You have to be nice to me now. And Giselle's like, no. Love her.
Is the
for
money
that.
still up there? Sorry.
Yes? No, this is fine? I don't... Oh.
Giselle's stolen money. Everyone has some unethical ways of financing their war.
I mean, I think that's the least of our issues with them. That tracks. It's just like any other weird fanatical institute, you know?
Yes. They're not good.
No. No. Alright. Please load. Please load and save. Let me see that Y. There's the Y.
I saw the Y.
Also, we have so many points, and that's delightful.
Yeah, we're getting a good stockpile of experience.
Yeah!
We've got as much as like a pretty dang good eat, and without eating anyone.
Yeah! But I do want to do a need at some point. I would like to do a chomp. I would like to grip and rip. One of my many...
We could grip and rip a bad poet, and then we'd have like twice as much experience.
Yeah! But yeah, that's it. That's it for today. I have to be careful not to just like keep playing is the problem, because I'm very invested and interested in this game, and it's very good. And I could very easily trap us here for like 4 hours.
We'll keep them short and keep us wanting more.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll do more of this tomorrow, and it'll be great and wonderful. Yeah. Who do we want to raid? Y'all want to go say hi to Sam, who is still streaming and doing
Sam
Zelda.
is Zelding up a storm over there.
Sam has been Zelded.
Chew's doing some Pokemons, and Flowers is doing some
Flowers
Dwarf
is doing-
Fortress.
Yeah. Do any of these sound particularly good?
Well, we ain't rated so many edges, right?
It's true.
Even if it is, Zeld.
Even if it's Zeld, I don't think we can escape the Zeld.
We do kinda like Sam here.
Kind of appreciate. We're a bit of a Sam enjoyer here. Alright. Well, there are the raid messages. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see everyone tomorrow, I guess. Thanks as always for being here. Thanks, Fruity, for hanging out and playing silly video game with me. And yeah. But yeah, we'll see everyone then. Bye, friends.